now that is not the quickest thing you've ever seen in your life. I think this is the best brush set I've bought. And welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, as you can see by the title, we are testing TRIGWELL cosmetics brushes. I am so excited because I've heard so many good things. They come in a little like cute set like this. Obviously the brushes now I use, as you can see, because I've done my full face, and wow, you will see my reaction to every brush because there are 5 brushes and they are all completely different. Some brushes I would never normally pick as well, but yeah, overall it's turned out amazing. So you'll see my reaction and which ones my favourites are, if I recommend, all of that. I've added prices and I've tried actually some new products today as well. Obviously everything that I've used on my base has been mentioned, but it's quite nice because I've obviously done a base tutorial as well. A lot of you have been asking for one over on YouTube. So yeah, hope you enjoy and let's get on with the video. So they actually come in a bag and it's so pretty. It's like an iridescent bag. If you saw my makeup haul, or if it's not up yet, then definitely go and watch that, and that was where I kind of like showed it off a little bit more. But they come all like wrapped and then wrapped in netting, so I'm just going to unwrap them and then kind of talk you through and then get started. So they look like this and they are literally so soft. They are synthetic and they're so soft. I'm so excited. So we have the fluffy brush, which I'd probably use for bronzer, or I might actually use it for blush. But I think I'm basically going to try and use just these brushes to do my full face. So I'm probably going to go in with blush first and then use it for bronzer, because obviously I don't want to go in with bronzer and then put bronze on my cheeks. So this is the TO3 brush. They do actually sell these individually as well. And then we've got the fluffy foundation brush, and I prefer a fluffy foundation brush to the flat one. This is the TO5, this is the TO4. So I'd normally use something like this for like moisturiser or primer, which I'm probably going to do, but I'd rather use a fluffy foundation brush for my foundation. So that is what I'm going to use for foundation. I'm probably going to use this for primer and my glow to like blend it all in. Could actually use it for like contour maybe. This is the powder brush and I will probably use it for powder. I mean, sometimes I put powder on with a sponge and then brush it away with a brush, and I normally would brush it away with the angled brush. But I'm thinking I might use this for cream, blush and cream contour. And then there's not like a smaller one for highlights, so I'll probably cheat there. They do an eye brush set, but there's not like a highlighter brush here. So I'm probably going to cheat on that one, but other than that, I will do my best with these brushes. They're so pretty. I love the pink. It's a different pink to what I've seen before in packaging as well, which I really, really like. Yeah, so soft. Really impressed so far. Obviously haven't tried them out, so I'm just going to get started. So I have actually applied moisturiser already. I used my Advanced Hyaluronic Acid Duo Moisturiser. I love this so much. I actually got it in a glossy box, but whenever it runs out, I'm definitely getting a new one. I next normally do like a glow, so I normally use my Be Me Glow. And these are kind of like glow drops. You can use it obviously as highlighter, but I quite like to use it underneath as well. And then I blend it with a primer. This is in Midnight Feels. They're basically just 2 different tones, so obviously this is just a glow to go underneath my foundation. Obviously will blend completely, but the way this literally makes my skin glow is incredible, because I'm not gonna lie, like I've tried like glowy face primers and this is like the glowiest thing I've used, even compared to like big brands. So honestly, it's so good. And obviously like I sometimes use like a matte foundation and this still glows in between. I feel like so weird talking to you when I've got this on my face, but I'm actually going to blend it with the Poreless Pussy Primer from e.l.f. and this is actually such a weird formula. So it literally looks like putty, and when you put it on it's like a cream, but it is a primer and it has all the benefits of a primer rather than like a moisturiser. But the funny thing is it just kind of blends like a cream. Do you know what I feel like? I'm going to use that flat brush to do this. Personally, I would normally use maybe like a stippling brush or a flat brush. I have actually used that before. I'm going to give this a go. So this is the TO5 by TRIGWELL Cosmetics, and I'm just going to blend it all in. I kind of like press it, and because I'm obviously going to put foundation on top, it's obviously not going to completely blend into my skin because it's supposed to be for underneath. So I'm just going to press it onto my skin and just keep blending. So far this is so soft on my skin, these brushes. Like some brushes I find, especially, I know this is like a flat brush, but brushes with a lot of hair, sometimes it's actually quite like not painful, but you'd think they'd be really soft, but actually sometimes they like scratch your face. But this is so soft and it's really like bouncing as well. Like I know that sounds really weird, but I haven't actually experienced that very much in a brush, especially like a flat top brush like this. Like putting it on my skin and it's almost like just like giving it a bounce, almost like it's giving it a boost. Really weird, but I love it so much. I feel like most brushes just kind of like either press into your skin or collect up all the product in the brush, and that's something I'm going to be looking at as well today, because a lot of the time I do actually find I've tried brushes in the past, even from like brands that I thought maybe this problem wouldn't happen. Honestly, I know this looks crazy, but just go with it. And a lot of brushes actually soak up like foundation and like don't apply it as well, and they kind of like take the product with them rather than putting it on my face, which is obviously not what I want. A lot of flat top brushes don't move. Like, can you see how I can just like literally bend it and do whatever I want rather than like it literally being like that? Do you know what I mean? So obviously, can you see the glow? Like that obviously wasn't on my forehead before. It's so glowy. So when I go and apply my foundation, you will really see it through. See, this is the powder brush. I think I'm gonna have to use it for concealer. I normally place my P. Louise base, because that's what I use for concealer, under my eyes. I place it on with a Molly O'Brien Jim Bob brush, and this is just like a cut crease brush, just so I can distribute the product. I never obviously blend it in like this, but it means I can distribute the product evenly, and that really works very well for me. Because obviously I can't like spread it out like that with the normal brush. And I just put a little bit. And I'm going to go in with my TRIGWELL Cosmetics T06 brush. This is the, oh my gosh, this is so soft. Can you see how well that's like blending it straight away? Some brushes like are really difficult for concealer and they don't. It's blended. Tell me now that is not the quickest thing you've ever seen in your life. That must have been like 10 seconds. I literally went like this. Because the edges almost like blend so seamlessly with the brush. It's so soft and light. It's almost like the lightness of it. Wow. I need to get another one. How insane is that? I just went like that. And have I not sold it to you already? Obviously this is not like me trying to sell it out, but I'm so impressed. I know it looks so crazy because I've got this glow on still, but it's literally doing its job. Like, can you already see the glow here? And like my under eyes look so glowy because of the Be Meal Glow. I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal Infallible foundation and just pop a bit on my mixing palette. I won't even bother trying to pick it up to show you, because if I do, it will go everywhere. T04 Fluffy Foundation Brush. So I've heard so many people say how much of a good foundation brush this is, and it's living up to expectations. So this is just the shade 140 in the foundation. And I literally love this foundation. I normally like mix it with the True Match, or I sometimes use the Morphe one. And it's honestly one of my favourite foundations ever. I'm so impressed. I'd just like to literally say, like, obviously I'm not completely done. I'm obsessed. I'm gobsmacked. I'm not, because I thought they'd be really good, but like the way it blends it so quickly. Like, if you're in a rush, just get these brushes, you're sorted. I'm so light on my pressure as well. I'm really not just saying this. I love all my brushes that I have, but they take a bit more work, even if they're an amazing brush. And I'm not trying to say like I won't and I don't use other brushes. Like, I normally go over a bit more than I'm doing now. Like I normally go over and keep blending. I think this one just blends quicker. So maybe it's just like saving you time and speeding it up. Not like saying that other brushes don't blend, because otherwise I wouldn't use them. But I've never experienced, especially the concealer, like I want to replay that back. That must have took 10 seconds. I'm normally there for ages with my Morphe brush, and I love that brush. I never thought I'd found a brush better than that. So I'm just make sure I haven't missed anywhere, but it's actually quite a big brush, but obviously how the way I've moved it, it kind of looks angled at the moment. So if I just like, obviously it looks like that, and you can kind of like pinch it, so it does like change shape as you go, which is great, because if you're trying to get to like a certain area, like your forehead, and you don't want it all over your hair, it's not going to like go like this. Like you can actually shape it. It's very like flexible. Ignore this whole situation. It is the lighting. I have like moved around. I did the exact same foundation earlier. Came on to film and there was nothing wrong with it. So I think it's just like the lighting at the minute. It's gone a lot bit darker. I think it's like 8 o'clock. Not that I really need to explain myself, but so I'm using the e.l.f. concealer in the shade Light Sand. I haven't used this for the longest time. I used to, you know, when I like have a concealer or a foundation and you swear by it and you wear it all the time, and then like you get into maybe like you try a new one, and that's what's happened to me. And I've been using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop for about 1 or 2 months, and I haven't used any of the concealer apart from my base, but that I always use that underneath beforehand. And I used to live and die by this, so I'm going to try it again. I always use the same concealer brush anyway, just because I don't really see the point in changing it when the product's already underneath my skin. Oh my god, it's just amazing. There's literally some of the softest brushes I've ever felt in my life. Look how, like, obviously I'm not going to leave it like that because it does look like I've obviously got unblended concealer at the top. But the way that this just blends into the bottom, it's flawless. It's literally the definition of flawless. I really didn't think they were going to be this good. Like, I knew they'd be amazing because everyone's talked about them, but I didn't like expect, I thought they'd just be like kind of like soft brushes that blend well, and that's about it. These are something special. You know when you like try a brand and you think, that is the level of quality I want my brand to be. I want like my brand to be something where somebody thinks that, like, that is this. And honestly, I'm so excited. I get so excited about brushes. How quickly again did that blend? Like, and the way it looks so flawless on my skin. I'm just obsessed. I think these were like £24. Does that? Obviously I've only got 2 clean brushes. So I'm going to use this for bronzer and blush. And I'm going to use this for, and I don't feel like I can use cream blush and cream contour because the blush formula is completely different to the contour. I'm probably just not going to do that then. I'll use the angled contour brush for contour, and then I'll just use a different brush for the cream blusher, just because I don't really want to mix the formulas on the same brush. I don't think it would matter too much because they're still on my skin and they're still kind of like blending because I always blend them next to each other. So I'm applying my Maybelline. This is actually the anti-eraser, if you can already see. It's the anti-eraser multi-use concealer, and as you can see I've literally used so much of it. And it's in the shade Bronze. It doesn't actually say, but I know it's, oh, 149. I've used this for ages. I actually haven't used it for a long time because I normally use the P. Louise base for contour. So I actually really struggle. I only have one contour brush that I use. If this beats it. That was really fast. I'm so excited because I have obviously used other contour brushes, but a lot of the time they move the product up. So where I've done the line, imagine like the product that I put there, say like this, imagine the brush was really good and it patted it in, but it kind of like moved it as well, rather than keeping it in the space I've done it. Where I'm pushing down, it kind of like moved it around. But this is obviously like, it's quite a big brush still. It's not like it's a tiny brush and that's the reason for it. It's almost like the tip, the very like top of this brush is the thing that's actually doing it, rather than the whole brush, because a lot of the time the whole brush starts getting involved and it's like, no, I'm going to do this, even though that's not what you want it to do. So I'm really impressed, and I never thought I'd say it, guys, but my favourite concealer and my favourite contour brush have now been taken over. And obviously I think I'll still probably use them like when this one's 30 but I think if I was going to pick one, it would be this. I have like a lot of brushes, I do my foundation especially, and the brush, it's not like wet because otherwise your face would look wet, but after you've actually blended your foundation, the brush, like, I guess is like a little bit wet to touch. Like you've still got liquid on the brush even though you finished with it. It's not dry, as in like it's really dry and like you don't want to use a dry brush, but it is dry, which is what you want. Like you want the brush to almost like just put on your face and then that's be it. You don't want it like hanging around. Look how well that's done that. It's not, this brush now, you would think it was just been left overnight and it's just dry. I don't know whether that means it has soaked it up, but it can't have done because it's pressing it into my skin and there's no like liquid. I could use this for something else now, so I'm going to use this for cream blush. I thought it was going to still have contour on. Now this formula is different, but I use the base for concealer, and if I fill my concealer brush, dry, perfect. So if I do the same thing, wow. I normally apply my cream blusher, and I find it kind of, instead of being in, obviously I don't like it to be left as a circle, but when I'm blending it I want the area of it to be no bigger than that, and a lot of the time it kind of expands all like across my face, not like dramatically, but I really like how precise this is. It seems to be blending very well, and regardless of the formulas being different, I've now used one brush for two things. Obviously I clean my brushes every time I use it, but I don't need to clean this and then like clean it before doing something else, because the way the brush, oh my gosh, just look how flawless it is. I feel like I need mascara on, I know, because it just looks really weird when I go that close. Oh, I haven't blended that in. I wondered what that was. But everyone's waiting for me to blend it in, it's like really annoying. Concealer does crease. Everybody has eye creases, that's completely normal. The way that everything's still set, it looks so flawless. And can you see the Be Me glow? Was that, or was that not worth waiting for? It's literally all across my face. I guarantee you now, if I didn't use that, I would not have this glow, and I love it so much. Because I try and use as many cream products as I possibly can, because I don't want my face to be like really dry. But obviously I do set it with quite a lot of setting powder, but it kind of counteracts, which is good, because if I didn't use cream blusher, I don't feel like it would be as hydrating. So I'm really impressed. I've obviously just got one brush left. So for powder, obviously I'm not going to use the same brush, so I'm just going to quickly grab a sponge and apply my powder with a sponge. I would have brushed it off with the angled brush, but I use that for contour, or I would have used the powder brush, which they recommend you to use. But that's just kind of like an idea of what it's for. So I'm just popping on my Morphe Filter 2 setting powder, and it's basically setting powder. The shade I've got is Filter 2, if anyone's wondering. I think this is about like £12, and I love my HMB Cosmetics Soft Focus Loose Powder, but this is the best setting powder I've ever used. Like, because I always use a setting powder and then I use a loose powder. But I don't always use a loose powder, but I always use a setting powder and then sometimes use a loose. But like, do you know what I mean? But I shall show you in a minute. I have literally nothing left. So I basically have broken it into a loose one. Just broke it because obviously it was like right in the corner and I couldn't get the powder out. So I figured out if I broke the powder, I'd get bits of powder while I wait for my new one to arrive. Quite a smart idea. Right, so this is what my powder looks like. That, or is that not so embarrassing? But we move. So my powder is on and I'm going to brush it off with a separate brush. I normally use my Doll Beauty DB3. I'm definitely going to buy another one of these brush sets, the TRIGWELL Cosmetics, and obviously brush it away with one of the brushes in that. I'm so impressed, guys, I can't even tell you. Like, I don't think I've ever recommended anything enough that I've done a testing video on. My skin looks so flawless, it's literally amazing. I'm just going to apply my blusher and then my bronzer. It worked for my cream contour to my cream blusher. Obviously powders are dry anyway, so obviously it will still remain on the brush. Just look how soft that is. So I'm definitely going to go in with my blusher first. I normally put blusher on my forehead as well, so it won't really matter, but I do obviously want bronzer on my cheeks. I don't think I'm going to use my soft focus loose powder today because I think the way everything's worked, it looks so flawless anyway. So I'm just applying my blusher with the T03 brush. I don't know if I told you, the angled contour is the T07. And it's like, I actually really like this as a blusher brush. Like, it's not too big, it literally glides across your face. So I normally put my blusher here to kind of make it blend with everything. I like to have a bit of like pink to the face, and I feel like then when I catch the light, it's kind of like there and there, rather than just having like big pink cheeks, you know? Just a personal preference. I'm using the Milani Luminoso in the shade 05. Literally my favourite blusher. I don't really own many blushes because I don't think I'll ever like one more than this. And then I've also got it in a different shade, but that's about it. Looks so glowy as well. The blusher, which I really like products that are like powders but they're still glowy but it's not like a highlighter. And then I'm going to go in with my Morphe bronzer. This is the Glamour Bronze in the shade Big Shot, and I love the packaging for this one. I've never actually mentioned that before. This obviously is a pinched brush as well, so I can obviously like customise how I want it to go on my face. So I can kind of like use this side, I apply it with that side and then like blend it with this side. And then the bit on the top is not touching anything, like the top of the brush isn't going on my eyeshadow or anything. So I can just apply here and blend like that. I really like brushes like this because obviously it's pointed, so the product is being applied from the top. That is bronzer and blusher done. I'm literally so impressed. I'm just going to apply some mascara to my bottom lashes, just because I feel like every time I look to the camera there's something missing, like to do with my eyeshadow. So I'm just using the Bad Llama mascara from Be Perfect Cosmetics. I'm not sure why that took me so long to work out what on earth I was trying to say. The lashes I do actually have on are the Sarah Sultan Penelope lash, and I'm going to be using a highlight in a minute, so I'll show you that. So that is a bottom lash mascara done. Don't you feel like that added so much more? I personally do. I didn't obviously want to do that before because I like to get right into the corner with my powder. I'm so impressed so far. Like, I don't think I could ask for any more. Nothing compares. So I'm going to clean my lips, do my lips, and I always do my highlighter last just because I'm so excited about this palette, so I'm going to show you about that at the same time. So the only thing I will say is I normally use a brush to go up and down. Like, I normally obviously use this brush today. I normally go like this and kind of like blend them both together. So that is something else I would do if I had another brush. So I'm going in with lips, and I'm using the Doll Beauty lip liner in the shade Diva Forever. If you haven't actually seen my review of the She Fine liner set, I did a full video of the entire set. So there's 12, and I literally tested them all and did swatches on myself and on like my hands so you can see. And everyone loved that video, like it did so well. I should never talk when doing lip liner, so I'm going to shut up. obviously looks crazy. So I'm going in with the shade Come to Mama. And this was actually the first Beauty lipstick I actually got. Just like to go back over. And obviously if you like to put your lipstick on with a brush, which sometimes I do, obviously a lot of brush sets do have lip brushes in the face brush set. And I'm a bit surprised they didn't, but I'm glad they didn't because I would much rather have like a full brush to use on something else, even like a highlighter brush. So I'm glad about that, but you could always get that eye set and use one of the eye brushes, because I know like if they have a flat eye brush you can always use that for lips, and like applying glitter, everything like that. Like it's so universal. Obviously you would need to clean that because it's like eyes and lips in between, but the fact I could multi-use my bronzer blusher brush and then my contour and my cream blusher brush, I think that's really, really good. I'm just going to apply a gloss, so I'm going to go in with my favourite gloss at the minute, which is the Doll Beauty Insta Glam. So this is literally a full Doll Beauty lip combo. Unreal. It's literally nearly, it's not nearly empty, but it feels quite empty. And I've got so much use out of it recently, so love. But we are missing something. We're missing a highlighter. So I've actually got this palette from Josh Cosmetics. I'm going to use Sarah's shade because she's come out with Princess Peach, which if you can see, it's got like the pink, the like kind of like silvery highlighter, and then the peach. I'm just going to like get my highlighter brush and like swirl around, because obviously if you've seen my makeup haul or it will be coming, it's basically includes this highlighter, and I do swatches, and you can create a peach, a rose gold, a cream, and then a pink, and it's honestly insane. So I've just swirled my brush around, so it should like create some sort of like combination of all three, and it's quite powdery. So I would actually, this is quite like a pinky colour. If I try and get more of the peach, I don't think it's going to work because I've used the same brush. I'm obsessed. This is obviously a Doll Beauty brush, the DB4. Just swatch the peach for you so you can actually see. So it looks like that. But obviously on my brush it's already got like the mixture of all three that I've blended together, so it's obviously not going to pick up a brand new shade. It's insane. Oh my god. I actually love it so much. I love highlighter, if you can't already tell. But I do normally go back over my forehead area just with my bronzer brush, just to kind of freshen it up a bit. I don't obviously want it to be too bold. I kind of want it to like just catch the light. But I'd just like to say, insane, smashed it. I'm so impressed. I think this is the best brush set I've bought. I've bought single brushes from different brands and they've been amazing, but an actual brush set, best one. With this set, I love every single brush. I feel like every single brush has a purpose. The one that I probably wouldn't buy as a single is the flat one for the primer, but then I'd buy the set again purely because in some brush sets there's maybe like 3 or 4 brushes you love, so you wouldn't buy the whole set again, you'd just buy the 3 or 4, because there's 5 brushes in this set and I love every single one. Obviously if I was to buy a singles, I could buy singles of the 4. I probably wouldn't need another one of the flat foundation brush just because I probably would only use it for the glow, but I think I'd just buy the set again. Honestly insane, and for the price and the quality, I'm blown away. I knew it would be good. Well, I didn't, because you don't know, do you? Because I haven't tried it, but I knew it would be good because I've heard so much good things about it. And like, it's just so flawless. Like the way it's blended into my skin, I look like, my under eyes especially, they look like airbrushed or something. Honestly, incredible. I love it so much. I really recommend, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. So I'd love to test brands, products, anything. So if you have like one specific product, it doesn't matter what it is, it could just be a moisturiser, let me know and I'd love to test it, even if it's over a short period of time, like a week or a few days, to like properly get the results. Obviously brushes I can tell like straight away, but like maybe a moisturiser, and to see like the full results you'd probably do it a few times, like you wouldn't just use it once and be like, oh, it's soft. Like I'd probably do it over a week and see the difference in my skin, or I maybe wouldn't wear makeup that week just to test it out. So anything like that, or even if it's another set or a palette or anything, like just let me know, because I love testing videos and so do you. Honestly, they do so well. My last 2 testing videos, one was clothes and one was makeup, and they're the best to watch so far. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to go and follow me over my Instagram. Make sure to go and follow TRIGWELL Cosmetics as well. Obviously I'm not asked to say any of this, I literally chose to buy it and test it myself, because I actually don't think there's another video on YouTube, so I thought I'd be the first, and honestly it's insane. So make sure to go and follow them, because they honestly deserve it, and small brands need it right now. So yeah, that is all for me, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!